Hi, and welcome to the Lone Star Play podcast, where we sit, eat, chat, and repeat. I'm your host, Patrick Scott Armstrong, and we are coming to you from Austin, Texas. The Lone Star Play podcast is produced by Texas Real Food. Go to texasrealfood.com, and you can search your city for local restaurants, stores, butchers, farmers markets, and more who are using organic, fresh, artisanal, and local sources. It's a fun site that brings all natural options all together.
Asia is wonderful, and I headlined a festival in 2017 in Japan, and was amazed and stunned at the beauty of the people, like from the inside, their hearts.
Yeah.
Like they're just maybe I just wasn't there long enough to learn their hangups, because we all have them. But
sure, they're everywhere.
Yeah, but they're just wonderful, man. They're just so respectful and polite. We could learn a lot.
Honor, right? They honor. It's like I work with a lot of.
I guess with that can be some negative things like pride or whatever.
Sure,
saving face, and all of that. But man, they're so respectful of people. Like,
yeah,
at least as visitors, us as visitors. Like, I mean,
yeah. Oh, nice. The Vox amp.
Oh yeah, man. I got a whole.
Oh shit. You like, yeah, you just like moved and revealed like everything there.
So this is part of my stupid COVID quarantine craze is I got one Vox AC30 Fawn like combo, and then at the same time another offer came in to get the speaker and the head cabinet, separate. Yeah. Which I thought, well, that would be cool to have, because it's like easier on the road carrying it in two separate pieces. And so I just said fuck it and got them both. And what spurred it all on was when I got this sexy little number. So nice. I bought this Rick. Can you see it? Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
So I got this Rick that I used to shoot my last video. And when I did that, I was like, man, I got to have the proper amp.
Is that the gosh, I don't want to say the wrong name of the song, because I'm pretty sure I saw that video. Was that the Don't Leave Her Lonely?
Yeah.
Great video, by the way. Yeah, that's a great guitar. That's what I was thinking when you were in the video, like, damn, that's a nice guitar.
Oh, it's so awesome, dude. I had a different one that was kind of I had it for probably 10 or 15 years of like, it was sort of that Sunburst Tom Petty looking thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't quite, because it wasn't a 12-string, because that's a hell of a tune on the road. And then it was smaller. I think I got the wrong one at the time, and it was just too small. It felt too small on me. So then I saw this Midnight Blue sexy bitch, and I was like, I got it. Sorry, are we live?
Yeah, no. I mean, you can curse on here. We curse. We
okay,
talk like
cool.
You say whatever you want.
I saw this and just fell in love, and like so.
Yeah.
Then I used it for that video, and then that made me think I can't play a Fender Tweed as much as they're great for Telecasters. The proper amp to play this thing through would be that,
Oh, got it.
So if you're going by the book, so. My OCD got the best of me, and yeah. So here I am with a wall of amplifiers and nowhere to go.
I love you and so many artists, right? Like, are you doing any live streams? Are you trying to stay in front of people?
I am, yeah, man. They've been really good. I've probably never sold more merchandise off my website than I am.
Oh, really? Now. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I kind of gave it a good. It was my guy, sort of my social media guy that helps me, with creating posts, and he's better with, just that stuff. Coming up with ideas and putting actual, I don't even have a program to actually put, if you want to put something on the photo itself, like, some sort of information.
Photoshop.
I don't use any of that stuff. So, I have it though. I really need to just learn it myself. But anyway, Austin's awesome. He's a Belmont grad, and it's in his wheelhouse. Anyway, so we came up with why don't you do a live stream where you go live every time certain number of items are sold. So we were like, what's the appropriate number of items? 10. Now you might be going all the time. 30 might never go. So we came up with 25, and then I was like, well, 25 and live, that's a cool little marketing thing. And so we started doing that. I've done like 6 of them. Like, so it's awesome. I mean, whatever, it's just, concert shirt or a CD or a koozie or whatever, bumper sticker, beanie. So anyway, we've done like 6 of them now. So it's become sort of a thing. And yeah, it's not touring, but it's, it's better than nothing for sure.
Yeah. It's something, right? I mean, yeah.
So this is where I set up, and I can show them kind of a couple merch items and, whatever. And I play for an hour and the chat, it's on Instagram, so you could see the chat scrolling.
Were you doing any of that before the pandemic hit? Nothing like that.
Tell me but enough about me, man. Tell me about y'all's show and where that started. We can jump on air live whenever you want.
We don't do live. We just,
or I mean, I guess the camera's rolling, so you can use whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'll obviously going to cut out the whole beginning, right? I'll just get us starting. You showing us the guitars is probably where I'll start.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, we're going. I like conversation. We just sort of talk and awesome. Keep it open and free. And yeah, it's like a podcast, right? Like I like that idea. It's more personal.
Yeah.
There's no commercial break coming up. Let's put it that way. So
yeah, no, totally. I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. I mean, this is the show right here. We just talk to cool, famous Texans and talk a little bit about their career and what awesome. It's really whatever they want to talk about. But Texas is the thing that brings everything together there.
Yeah, man. So for sure. Well, I miss it greatly. We could start off with that, or I don't know.
Where are you at exactly?
I don't know if we're starting off anymore. We're kind of getting into it now, but
yeah.
I am in Nashville, so boo hiss, right? I mean, at least in the music industry. I mean, I think a lot of Texans love Nashville. They love to come to Nashville and visit. Not that they want to live here. Not that I really want to live here either. But it's been I'm not going to kick it because it's been great to me, man. I mean, I've learned how to become the artist that I am, the songwriter, certainly, that I am. That said, I'm not dependent on Nashville. I'm not really I was a part of the machinery of it for a while there. And, but really the machinery's been dysfunctional forever. And it's not at all what it once was. And I mean, the music industry as a whole, it's more of a cottage industry really now than it's ever been.
Is that from the internet and that sort of thing, you think?
It's become fractioned, fractious, if that's a word. And certainly Nashville as a whole too, as an industry, as a music industry as well, has become that too. Like it's gotten, it used to be sort of a community. Music Row was the thing, a 2-block stretch that was, basically a bunch of old houses from the 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, little ranch houses that were converted into businesses. And then there were a couple story actual legitimate businesses that, looked like office buildings like MCA. And I could go down ASCAP and BMI. But for the most part, it was a cottage industry, and even when I moved here in the 90s. And at the time I was just a 21-year-old kid trying to figure out what in the heck I was doing, but it's changed now. And now the industry is just sort of everywhere. It's not even, Music Row is not really even a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And I really greatly miss Texas. I grew up in Houston. But all that said, it's hard to kick Nashville too terribly hard. Maybe just a swift kick in the shins. But,
yeah.
I mean, I don't like the music.
Like we give to Oklahoma, right? Like basically.
Yeah, a little bit, but that's almost much more loving, actually.
Yeah.
That's like a neighbor that you
totally
just kind of give a lot of flack,
a lot of shit to, right? Yeah, exactly.
Right? So, this is a little perhaps more heavy-handed than that.
Yeah.
but it has made me a better songwriter, a better artist than I ever would have been, I think, had I stayed back home in Texas. which maybe is evidenced by the fact that a lot of other people record my songs, and you're around a ton of talent, a lot of talented people in Nashville, and no two ways about it. Whether you like what they're making or not, they know how to string words together and write songs, man. I mean, like crazy. They can churn it out. And
there's a lot of Texans that moved to Nashville. I mean, a lot of people I've interviewed on the show, they live in Nashville. I just spoke to Casey James last week. He's in Nashville. I spoke to this guy.
Yeah, he's a Dallas guy, right?
Yeah, it's from Dallas. Nashville. Everybody's like, so, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I would certainly move back home to Texas, probably Houston, because my dad and stepmom are still there. I would do it in a heartbeat, but I have kids here now that, still finishing up school and everything. But when they're off to college and everything, I'm kind of free to do it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I look forward to that day, I think. And I don't know when that day will come, especially with COVID, but gosh.
It's too hard to plan anything, right? I mean, especially
you really can't plan anything. I mean,
they just shut down again in Texas here. I don't know if you've heard that news.
Oh, I know. Same here actually in Nashville. Same deal.
Oh, really? Yeah. Just like go 2 steps forward, right back, then forward. It's like it's really screwing with the businesses. It really angers me because I owned a food business here in Austin for over 5 years, and I can't imagine having it right now. I just can't even imagine. They're not giving any help to the businesses. They tell them, hey, you got to open. Yeah, go ahead and open up at this percent, 25%, but we're still going to charge you 100% rent. And then, do this, do that, open, don't open, follow these protocols. But then they don't provide any help or any financial help. It's a nightmare for these businesses here.
Yeah, the rents are an issue.
Yeah.
There really hasn't been as much talk about that as I thought there would be, as big of a problem as I thought there would be. Maybe it is a big problem. We're just not hearing about it. But rent, both on the consumer side as households, and on
that too.
Side.
You're right.
Like,
you're right.
I mean, I own my home, so I feel fortunate. But man, I feel for those who are trying to pay rent and can't work. What do you do? I mean, it's crazy. It's not just I mean, we haven't done a great job. I mean, of managing this. No question. We've done a horrible job in many respects, but we're not alone. I mean, short of being a super heavy-handed communist totalitarian state like China and a host of others, short of that where they track your every movement, it's just real hard to lock down and pin down a freedom-loving society like we are. So Italy was the same way. Now since then, of course, Italy's done a much better job, apparently, allegedly, than we have. So I don't know, man. We're in for a long haul, and I'm just hoping that we have some really great minds in science and health that can dig us out of this with an incredible vaccine. Of course, then we got the anti-vacciners.
Yeah,
who,
no kidding.
Who don't take a vaccine and won't. And I don't know what to say to them. Like,
especially in this situation, right? When it's something like, I don't know, I guess other vaccines, it could be more optional. This is something like, I'm sorry, but it's almost like you don't get an option on this,
Yeah, because it's super transmittable, super current. It's not like smallpox or something from the past where it was a thing and it's not really a thing now, and herd immunity or whatever you want to say.
Sure.
I mean, there's just no option, to me. Like, you shouldn't be able to go get your driver's license renewed or whatever unless you've had your freaking vaccine shot. Like, and that might sound socialist. Which I don't mean to, but I guess in some ways I just think, we got to protect our society. Anyway, I've gotten way off on a tangent, man. We're supposed to be talking Texas and Mexican food, right?
Yeah. So you like Tex-Mex? You miss it there, Nashville? How is the Tex-Mex there?
Are you ready for another long-winded answer? God, man, there's a decent place down the street from my place here that kind of gets my fix. I've gone there a couple times during the quarantine, but honestly, there's it's just a complete lack of quality in terms of Mexican food or Tex-Mex food.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't have it. I mean, we just flat out don't have it, man.
Damn,
it's
that has got to be tough, right? That's got to be tough.
Well, I mean, I think it kind of cuts down on my caloric intake, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. What about barbecue?
I mean, the first thing I do,
barbecue's got to be good there. I said the barbecue's got to be good there, though, right? Not the same, but
no, it's very pork. It's pork, number one.
Oh, really? Pork
I
heavy.
do have a Traeger grill.
Oh, nice.
With the smoker. It's the TX, of course. You know, that's the model. And so, I mean, you know, you can smoke a really nice brisket on that. But no, I mean, the barbecue here is all pork, pretty much. Their sauces are different. It's just not the same.
It's different, right? Yeah, it is. It's just they just do too much to it, I think. Whereas Texas is, you know, if you look back in the history of it, it's really just based on a good cut of meat, salt and pepper, and the right smoke, right? The right wood, the right mesquite, right? Yeah, you got to use the right wood and keeping the fire at the perfect temperature, right? The whole time while it's smoking. I'm a chef. I actually worked for Tyson Cole and Aaron Franklin here in Austin for a little while.
No kidding. I see. Are those knives? What am I looking at?
Yeah. Those are chef knives. No, those aren't my real chef knives. That's decorative. But I mean,
I get it. It's a prop. It's a prop.
Yeah. But I mean, they're real. I could fucking grab one of these right now and do something with it, you know. But yeah,
I love it.
It's funny because you learn that there is a specific way to cut the brisket, how it's trimmed properly before you even put it in the, you know, into the smoker, how it's wrapped, how you unwrap it, right? Like there's all with the ribs too. Like I learned a lot. There's just a lot.
Oh my God. Can I take some quick, like, I don't know, text message lessons from you maybe after this is over?
Anytime, man. I'll give you my number. You text me anytime you have any questions about any of that stuff.
I mean, I'll take you up on it because I'm always looking for that, and I don't want to take it straight off the internet or random cookbook, but like.
No, hit me up, man. I'll help you with it. It's no problem. It's easy.
Yeah,
stuff.
Like some brisket tacos would be awesome. But the cut of meat is important. Yeah, for sure. You know,
it starts there. That's honestly where it starts. If you just don't get that right, it's done. It doesn't matter what you really do after that.
Very difficult. Yeah, it's like songwriting, man. If you don't start with a good idea, it's very difficult to write a good song. If you start with a good idea or a great idea, it's much easier to write a good song or a great song. Just basically, it's like you got the ball inside the 20. Just don't fuck it up.
Yeah. You know? Oh, that's interesting. I like that. I like how you put it like that.
Or the other saying would be, you can't polish a turd.
Yeah.
So you start with a bad cut of meat, or you start with a shitty song idea. There's no hope. That's it. It's just you're not going to pull it out of the weeds. Just abandon it, cut your losses, and go look for something great. You know, and that's my first rule of writing songs. It's like,
do you like? Do songs sort of come to you, or do you sit down and go, I'm writing a song today and this is what it's going to be about?
I try to gather ideas because I think I sort of subscribe to the Keith Richards, nothing to do with Texas, but I'm a huge Stones fan too. So,
me too.
Keith Richards once said in a book, I read his bio about the time I was going through my divorce. and he was like, the songs are all up there in the air, in the ether, floating around. You just have to be open, like have your antennas open to them. Like, so if you're thinking about things, life, dialogue around you, books, movies, whatever you're immersed in, a line at the grocery store, that literally happens. If you're thinking about songwriting and you overhear something or read something or see something on the screen and you're thinking about it, things in terms of song, there are song ideas there around you constantly. Like, but you have to be thinking, you have to have your songwriting antenna up and go,
Yeah.
oh, that's a good idea. That's not like, maybe it's not a title or a concept,
Wow.
central concept, but there's a line. A line just came out of his mouth. I got to jot that down. You got to put it down. I mean, you'll forget it if you don't, and that's why the old school would like write. They would listen to conversations at the bar, like, I mean, I'm talking about like Harlan Howard, some of the Nashville greats and probably Texas greats too. I mean, they would write their ideas down on bar napkins, back when we had pens. And now it's like you text it to yourself, or giving away my trade secrets, but they're not really secrets anymore. Or put it in your notes on your phone.
Yeah.
So I gather them. I don't sit down going, I'm going to write a song today, because I should do that more, just in the interest of discipline.
Yeah.
I'm not very disciplined, for sure.
Is it kind of like working out, if you will?
Yeah, it is, actually. I'm probably better at that, just because physically you feel so bad if you don't work out, if you've been working out.
Sure.
But whereas songwriting, you can, there's all kinds of aspects to work on your career always. So the songs can always kind of, that took a backseat, like it can wait, but it can't wait. I mean, you gotta write them,
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I've certainly have written a lot of songs in my time, so I'm not really worried about that. Once I focus on it, it'll come.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome.
How did you, not to turn the tables, but how did you get into cooking? And did you go to an actual school? And then did you have a restaurant in Austin or elsewhere that I might be familiar with? And why did you get out of it? Or are you all out of it? Or where are you on that?
So I started, I got in the restaurant.
I'm sorry.
You're
We can
fine.
totally focus. We can go right back to me if you want to stay
No,
on.
I'll give you a quick answer just so it helps you understand me a little bit more, for sure. Absolutely.
And I say that because my interest in food is huge. Like,
yeah, I've gotten that question a lot. The question, I've gotten that question a lot, because it is something that even I had a question about. Do I need to go to school to learn how to cook? And I didn't. So I just worked in a lot of restaurants. That's the best advice I got from chefs I work with, was don't go waste your money on school. Just work in a bunch of restaurants, learn from chefs.
Right.
That's basically it. So I actually lived in Spain for a long time and worked over there. Yeah.
Where in Spain?
I lived in Galicia, which is one of the regions. It's up north above Portugal. It's like the state. I mean, but specifically, I lived in a town called Ogrove. I mean, that's the name of it. And then I lived in northwest.
Where is Ibiza?
Ibiza is in the south.
Oh.
Very, very southern tip. I got some job offers there, but I never wanted to go there because it's just too party heavy, and that's not what I was there to work for.
I'm watching. I'm going to interrupt for a second, but I still want to hear the rest of your story. But I'm watching a Netflix.
Ibiza, or the White Lines, right?
White Lines. Yeah.
Yeah. Great show.
I mean, even if you don't care about the plot, which is good enough. I mean, pickings are pretty slim right now anyway, because nobody's been able to shoot any content.
Yeah,
right?
You're right.
So that's a pretty good show. But what gets me is, even if you don't love the plot, or if it drags in spots or whatever, Ibiza, the shots of Ibiza are so beautiful, man.
It's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. I'm like,
it's gorgeous. That's a lot of Spain, bro. That's not just Ibiza. That's like that's like literally
really
all of the coast of Spain. Everywhere you go, it's just gorgeous. Just Galicia.
So how long were you there?
I was there almost 3 years. I got married there, everything. So yeah, I became a resident, and just started working, and then in restaurants and stuff like that, and just getting better at it. And then came back to the States, worked in Dallas for a famous chef called Stephen Piles. And then I came to Austin in 2014 to open up my own food business, and I closed it last year in 2019. And I honestly don't plan on going back to it, man, to be honest with you.
Right.
Not right now anyway. It's just a lot. It's a tough industry to be in. You sacrifice a lot. You work crazy hours. I mean, you probably know a lot of that. You give up holidays, celebrations, weekend, you name it. Like, I've seen chefs literally miss the birth of their child numerous times and say, we got Friday night service, right? I can't leave the pass. They call the pass the area where the food comes before it goes out to the tables. They call that the pass.
Sure.
So that's what a shuffle says. I can't leave the pass. I can't leave. And I hate that. I just thought for 5 years running my business here in Austin, I didn't even know Austin for 5 years, right? Like I didn't even know anything. Going out, just enjoying life. I was just constant 24/7 trying to run a business. And yeah, anyway, so I don't plan on going back to it. I enjoy just cooking for friends, families, private events. I can be hired privately to go cook something cool, or, I enjoy that kind of stuff. I do videos, and then I share my knowledge on this pod. I got hired for this podcast, and I'm really loving this, to be honest with you, a lot. I started in radio when I was like 19 or 20. So sort of brings back full circle to something I've always wanted to do.
Asia is wonderful. And I headlined a festival in 2017 in Japan, and was amazed and stunned at the beauty of the people, like from the inside, their hearts.
Yeah.
Like they're just, maybe I just wasn't there long enough to learn their hangups, because we all have them, but
sure. They're everywhere.
Yeah, but they're just wonderful, man. They're just so respectful and polite. We could learn a lot.
Honor, right? They honor. It's like I work with a lot of.
I guess with that can be some negative things like pride or whatever.
Sure,
saving face, and all of that. But man, they're so respectful of people. Like,
yeah,
at least as visitors, us as visitors. Like, I mean,
yeah, you're right.
And just personal space, and polite beyond to the nth degree. And we're so not. We are the brash Texans, the brash Americans, and I love that in a sense. I mean, but it's kind of can be embarrassing over there, like to see how they treat others is. We just could learn some P's and Q's, man. Get back to the basics a little bit. But anyway, it was a wonderful time.
Yeah.
And headlining this 30-year-old country festival over there was really cool.
That's amazing. So they like country music, obviously.
Oh, man, they love everything American. I mean, they love Levi's, Tony Lama boots, and they also have a better sense than we do in many cases of what's real. Like, they're not going to dig. They're not going to dig Florida Georgia line. Like, they know that's not real.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
But they're going to dig me or the Randy Rogers Band or Jack Ingram or, they get what has, lasting value and is honest,
Yeah.
And it's truly like American without being fabricated. So, so my apologies to all you Florida Georgia Line Texans out there, but I don't think there's many of. There's probably thousands that I just pissed off by saying that, but I kind of don't care I don't care anymore. Like,
right?
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Now switching subjects to the state of country music, and before we completely abandon your thing.
No, gosh, let's move on from that. I'd rather talk about music and you. And honestly, I want to talk about your new album.
I just put a dip in, so I clearly don't give a shit.
Yeah, but that's honestly one of the most Texas things to happen on the podcast. So let's do it.
Sweet. I love it.
Yeah, man, let's break down this album, man, because I've been literally listening to your music for the past few days. And it's just, I love it, man. Like, I'm not a huge country fan, although I do love all kinds of music. I really do. But your songs there's just some rock and some blues and some old school Texas stuff, So yeah, man, I just can't tell you how much I really, really enjoyed.
Wow, thank you.
This whole new album.
That warms my heart. I actually got like goosebumps a little bit on my yellow rose tattoo, which has nothing to do with the fact that I named this album. And here's our great intro to the album, Yellow Rose Motel. I had the tattoo way before I named the album or even wrote the song. So
oh wow,
but your words do kind of bring some chill bumps, as they say. So thank you, because I mean, just being a Texan that you are, and coming across, I'm sure, a lot of music, doing what you do, you know, you and being thirdly in the media now, sort of, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say sort of, but I don't know how much time you're dedicating to this. But like,
This is my full-time job as of now. So
well, cool. I mean, I hope it's monetizing for you. I know YouTube can, you know, it pays crappy, but
we got a company behind us that produces it, and that's how I get paid. Texas Real Food. So they're the ones that run this whole thing. Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's great. And but all that said, being in the media, it can make you jaded. So like, you don't really have to throw out niceties about anybody's album or music. So the fact that you did means a lot, and clearly from your descriptors, you actually listened to it. So thank you.
Oh, I'm 100% did. I wouldn't say anything I don't believe in. That's just me being from the kitchen, right? Like coming from the restaurant industry, we don't bullshit around, man. There's no time for bullshit. So I'm gonna be honest. And I did. I mean, I really enjoyed these songs, man. God, I really did. Yeah, I was really drum. I really like drum heavy tunes where I can just like feel that drum beat and and that's what I really, really loved a lot about these songs. So yeah,
man, thank you very much. I mean, I don't know if people play. Do people play on your podcast? Would you like me to play one of them? Or?
If you want to, absolutely. Yeah, people have played songs. They do whatever. I let them do whatever they feel like. Some people don't want to play. Some people do. I let them play.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, if you got a request off this album, or if you can remember any of them,
I know them all. Yeah, man, to be honest with you, gosh, so you can play, obviously you can play any of these. That's the dumbest question I ever asked.
No, it's not, man. It's not actually. Some would require a lot more thought than others. So
yeah, some are easier to play acoustically by yourself than others, right? Because there's just other elements to the song. So
yeah, I mean, they all hold up acoustically, but I have, because of all these live streams, I'm kind of brushed up, you know.
Right on.
I can't say I'm perfect on you know, but I can come up with a reasonable facsimile thereof of just about anything, you know. So
I mean, I really love I'm All In. I'm not gonna lie.
Really? Okay.
I fucking love that song.
No, I'll play it, dude. I'll play it.
I really do love that song.
That's funny because that's one of the more like lighthearted songs on the album for sure, right?
Yeah.
So that song was picked by my Texas radio promoter as one to pitch to, you know, Texas radio.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And, didn't really do so hot. Yeah, it's such a radio. It's
totally.
Such a radio song, and that kind of goes back to a point of, I think I'm kind of Texas's forgotten man, like the Invisible Man. I do, and I have a song called "The Invisible Man" from my second album way back when. But like, and in fact, it's like one of the best country songs I've probably ever written.
Oh, sure.
It's cool. Like Vince Gill sang harmonies on it.
Oh my!
But anyway,
God.
I do sort of feel forgotten down there because I do have sort of a national presence in addition to just, I don't just tour Texas all the time. I mean, I would, but it's harder to get there and make some shows make sense economically, because obviously the travel is much farther coming from Nashville. Once I'm there, I'm happy to stay as long as there's something to do. But because of that, I don't see Texas radio stations all the time. I'm not always up in their face, and you know, I'm out there and doing other things. I might be in the Midwest, or I'm up here raising kids in Nashville. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I kind of got one foot in both worlds. So it just makes it tougher for them to even remember me, I think.
Sure.
But anyway, I'm All In was a single. It didn't do particularly well on the Texas chart, but Don't Leave Her Lonely is doing a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, and that song's amazing too, right? I mean, honestly, another one that I really like too is Old Timers. That's a that's a really good song. People
really like that song, and it hasn't been part of my live show.
I loved it. I love that song. So good.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll play I'm All In for you.
Oh, hell yeah.
So the name of the album is Yellow Rose Motel. People out there know probably how to find me, but Instagram, Twitter, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, whatever you want to look up, I'm there, and this record is there too. So this is I'm all in for the Lone Star Plate. For the Lone Star Plate, right here, serving it up on the Lone Star Plate. For some all-night me and you kind of stuff. Down for a wild ride, pushing our luck. Need a little shot, good time in your cup. Baby, let's take this town and turn it up. Yeah, turn it up. I got you and me, got all night, anything you want. Baby, it's alright, gonna take you to somewhere we've never been. I'm all in, I'm all into this kiss, into this moment. Don't want you guessing, you need to know from the taste of your lips to the light on your skin. I'm all in. Baby doll, I think you need a little rock and roll. Right on in, sing it out to the radio. But just out in the where the night might lead. I'm all in how far this road takes you and me. I got you and me, got all night, anything you want. Baby, it's alright, wanna take you to somewhere we've never been. I'm all in, I'm all in this kiss, in this moment. Don't want you guessing, you need to know from the taste of your lips to the light on your skin. Let's say it again. Girl, I'm all in. We get guitar solo right here. Rough for a little bit of me and you kind of stuff. Then I'm down and pulling you close, pushing on up. I got you and me, got all night, anything you want. Baby, it's alright, I'm gonna take you to somewhere we've never been. I'm all in, I'm all into this kiss, into this moment. Don't want you guessing, you need to know from the taste of your lips to the good light on your skin. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in.
Dude, holy shit.
And that's with the dip in, so you gotta.
You crushed it. God damn, that's a good song.
That had to be managed, for sure.
That had to be managed, right? You're like.
Anyway, I'm glad you like that one, man. I do too. I really like the way the track turned out. You know, it's fun. And that's the other thing about Nashville. And to say, I mean, of course, there's a lot of amazing talent in Texas too. But gosh, I try to use some combination of my road band, which are all Texas guys, and Nashville guys.
Yeah.
But the studio players in Nashville particularly are just unfreaking believable. They're so
unbelievable, right? Yeah.
Truly world class. You know. Now they're not the guys that you're slogging it out with on the road, that you get to know and love. I mean, I know and love the Nashville guys too, but when you log miles together, there's something about that band and that brotherhood that is just, it just permeates the music, at some point. So it's great having them involved too. But man, some of these guys, studio guys they're just wicked.
That's such an interesting dynamic that to go on the road, you're going to have certain people play it. And then to go in the studio, you're going to have other people play it. Why is there, what skills do you need in the studio and what skills do you need on the road? Like, what's the difference?
Gosh, I mean, the studio guys are just chameleons. They've been doing it longer. Generally, they're more seasoned. So, I mean, a lot of those guys go out on the road too now, especially because there are fewer records cut. There's not as much money to be made as a studio musician as there once was. But the goal was back in the day, I think, even, certainly predating me by far, was, guys started out on the road and they sort of graduated to the studios, whether it was Los Angeles or whether it was Nashville or New York, when New York was a studio thing, which I don't think it is anymore. I think it's all people's laptops and,
Totally.
I don't know how much live recording is being done with conventional instruments in New York. But anyway, that was the way it was done before. So it was a tiered sort of structure there. And now it's like guys wear both hats. Like the guy that might be your lead session player in Nashville might also go be the road lead guitar player for Reba or whatever, like that's just a case in point. That's actually a real case in point. The guy's name is Jeff King, and he's a phenomenal guitar player. Played that solo on I'm All In, which if you go back and listen to it, he just shreds it, man. And he's so versatile.
Yeah.
So versatile good. And so fast at picking up on what a song needs. And, I give him my sort of bastardized version of what I hear, and then he blows it up, and but like he can play, but he plays in Reba's band, like he's Reba's band leader, and then he can come in and do my stuff. That's crazy. Wow. Like the difference, there is very little overlap between what Reba does and what I do, obviously. So that takes a real versatile musician.
Wow. So that's basically maybe so that's it. A studio musician is just like a chef. I'm thinking like a chef can just cook different styles of meals, right? Just knows
Absolutely.
Different styles.
Yeah, for sure. And can create.
Yeah.
On the fly. Can create on the fly. Because a lot of guys on the road, that's how they learn. They learn from listening to the records that they have to go out and play with the artist.
Yeah.
Night after night. And so that becomes a part of their style, because that's how you learn as a musician. You pick up records you love or records you have to learn. You incorporate it, you figure it out, and that becomes a part of your repertoire. You know?
Wow, that's cool.
Or your menu, to put it in the chef's mind,
Yeah.
So their menus cool. So their menus, the studio guys' menus are
massive.
Like walking into
the Cheesecake Factory menu.
I was just gonna say the Cheesecake Factory, dude. I really literally was.
That's hilarious. Yeah, they got the Bible, right? Like when you walk in there.
Oh my God, it's so confusing and overwhelming.
I haven't been there in 20 years, to be honest with you.
So you're in Austin now, correct?
Yeah.
The best Bloody Mary I ever had was in Austin.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember the bar? Can't remember.
Can't remember it. I wish I could. I could text my then drummer, and ask him. But anyway,
there's going to be a lot of bars going, "It was us. It's us."
I know, right? I know. It was so good. It was like a meal. It was so good. But anyway, there's a lot of good Tex-Mex to be had there too, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Austin's a great food city because there's just a lot of independent restaurants and food trucks here, right? That are just not part of it. There's just hardly any chain restaurants here, to be honest with you. They're just so far between around here.
Which is amazing.
And I love it. Yeah.
I love it too. I love it too. It's amazing to me though that the chains haven't moved in and taken up. Of course, I still love to go to Whataburger. I mean,
oh, me too. Gotta love Whataburger, bro.
There's another complaint about Nashville. No Whataburgers.
Oh my God. Is there like a special burger place there or something?
No. When I say none, I mean None.
None.
Zero Whataburgers. Zero. I think the closest one is in Alabama.
Oh my God. Oh shit.
Yeah.
That might be worth a road trip. You're probably closer to a White Castle.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely
you know?
closer. Yeah, that's probably
crazy.
3 miles away, but who wants to go to it? I mean, I don't.
I used to love White Castle, man, when I lived in Philadelphia in my early 20s. I don't know why, but when I would go up to New Jersey or New York, I just would stop and get White Castle and immediately regret it. There's something you regret immediately. Why did I do this?
Or at least the next morning.
Yes.
You regret it.
It literally is just grease. It's sponges of grease. That's what the buns are. It just, yeah, you're right.
Well, it's good when it first goes down, I guess. Though.
Yeah. Totally. Absolutely. Yeah. Man. Gosh, no.
There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those on the East Coast, right?
Yeah, a ton of them. They're everywhere. I don't know now. I haven't lived in near Philly, and since I was 13 years ago. I'm 40 now, so I was about 27 when I moved away from there.
Okay.
So I moved a lot for a very long time, to be honest. Austin's actually the longest I've ever lived in a city in my adult life, which is
how long have you been?
6 years.
6 years. Okay. You've seen it grow quite a bit in those 6 years.
Yeah, it had. And even I remember when I got here, that's what everyone said. Like, man, it's grown so much the past whatever. And like, I was a newbie. It was like, oh, don't come to Austin, don't move here. And now, I've seen it grow immensely just from the time I've been here. I had a food truck on Lamar and Barton Springs in Austin, which is a very famous crossroad here. And
from well aware.
And that's all changed. We were behind Tom's Market in a little food park there, and now they got a big hotel. I mean, it's just everything is Rainy Street too. We were on Rainy Street for a couple of years, and Rainy Street is not. You were talking about Nashville, the taking the old homes and turning them into the same thing, right? That's what they did on Rainy, and that's all changing. That's all high rises, and it's kind of sucks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's progress is always a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword.
Well, I don't know about always, but certainly in the case of that, yeah.
Well, when you got character and history to some of these bars and homes, and now you just take that away and you've put up this completely brand new building with nothing, right? I get it, but at the same time, it hurts a little.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And the traffic, is that still horrible?
Yeah, still horrible, man. I don't think that it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better more because more people are coming and they're not doing anything to correct it. So,
I mean, every time I go to Austin, it's like construction central. Like they never get ahead of the curve.
That's the joke here. That, it's like they'll never finish 35 ever.
They're always playing catch up. Like, why don't you guys just build two lanes at once or three, and then you'll be, it's like coronavirus tracking. We got to get ahead of the curve.
Totally. Yeah. Hey, speaking of, do you have any? I mean, I'm sure it's tough to book anything, but I know some bands are starting to book live shows. Have you done anything like that?
I have a couple tentative dates. One of them actually is in the Austin area in September. So we'll see. I mean, they're dates, but it's very wait and see.
Yeah.
That one is, oh gosh, what's it called? Well, I'm blanking, but I'll look it up. Anyway, one in Austin, one in Waco. Coming up in September 10th and 11th or something like that. So yeah, those are basically, I mean, I had a 15-city tour, Yellow Rose Motel tour planned around this album for April and May, with other things coming in that were starting to come in, and then all hell broke loose with the virus. So I don't want to sound like a sob story, because I mean, everyone's got a sob story in this, and mine is not near as bad as the many who have really suffered, some with their lives. So, we shelved the tour, and I know a few of the dates moved already to 2021. So
Oh, yeah.
a lot of venues are just looking at, and a lot of tours are just looking at moving everything to 2021. So, and a lot of
Just
fairs and
play it
festivals.
safe,
Yeah,
sort of thing. Just put it so far ahead.
yeah. Now these other couple dates, the Austin date, the name of the venue is just escaping me. Wild West.
Oh, Wild West.
Cedar
Yep.
Creek, Cedar
Mhm.
Creek, Cedar Park.
Cedar Park.
Cedar Park.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's where I'm going to be on September 10th, I believe. It's a Thursday. And then I'll be in Waco the next night. So, but those, it's all very wait and see, because even since those were booked, now the bars in Texas are shut down again, right?
Yep. They closed all the bars again. Yep.
So that's just kind of, it's very tentative.
And even when they were allowing them to open, not all bars were opening.
Yeah.
They just weren't. They weren't wanting to operate at a half capacity or what. And I can't imagine for these places having
Yeah.
to do that. Like a music show, like what's a live music show going to be like now, right? Like, I mean, music shows are, right, when you go to a concert, you're sweaty, you're jumping, you're in the crowd. I mean,
Yeah.
at least the concerts I go to,
Yeah. Totally. Me too.
right?
Same
So, like, how's that going to change? Like, what are they?
Yeah,
I
and
just,
the economics of it too. Like, it's very difficult to make it work. It's already difficult anyway in a perfect world. Like, you might play some shows that make no money. I mean, just you hope not to lose money to get to the next show that makes some money.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really, I mean, literally that happens. Like that's happens on every level. Like, so now operating at 25 or 50% capacity, there's virtually no chance of really making anything,
Totally.
And then you're just putting yourself and other people, don't forget, at risk by even going to do it in the first place. So
that's true.
What's the point? Like, I mean, literally, what's the point? Unless you're just so self-centered and selfish and you just need the attention so bad.
Yeah.
That, and some people do. Some people are doing it occasionally. They'll go, I don't know. So I don't want to mention names, but somebody had a big concert last weekend somewhere. It was outdoor, fortunately. That helped, but still people were packed. I mean, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 people, probably would have been 10, but still, I mean, a sea of people, if the Twitter photos are any indication. And that artist just got endless crap for it, like from other artists. Like, what are you?
Like, why are you doing this? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what are you even thinking, bro?
Yeah.
So, anyway,
that's crazy. I mean, the thing is, like, this is something my wife actually said to me. She's like, look, like, because we were talking about maybe hanging out with some friends here locally, because I haven't seen anybody in months, to be honest.
Yeah, we're so tired.
Yeah, and I'm getting a little antsy. So I mean, I had a friend reach out like, hey, what do y'all think about having some dinner to get? I thought, my mind just went, oh yeah, that sounds. I would love to see another human being, and so I'm trying to figure out any way to make it happen. Like, do I need to buy a hazmat suit on Amazon? Like, I will wrap myself in bubble wrap. Like, what do I need to do? And my wife's like, look, the truth is, like, you're gonna go with the best intention, right? And you're gonna want to do everything right, but after a few drinks, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Right. And that's it. That's the reality. So you're going to have these concerts. I'm sure everyone's going with the best intention and let's do this. But a few songs in, few drinks in, everything starts to relax. The mask comes down a little bit, right? You start getting closer. It's just inevitably going to happen.
Everything feels right.
Yeah.
It's like a bad pickup scene at a bar, which it is. And that happens too, So, I mean, yeah, I totally get it. I was same scenario here. Like, well, my tour manager, John Cooper, has been my friend for 20 plus years. Not always my tour manager, but just kind of does it on the side. He's got a day gig. And I was like, we were going to have him and his girlfriend over. I don't know. Then one thing led to another, and I don't know. There wound up being some complications, but so we didn't wind up doing it. But as we got further down the road of considering to do it, it's like, okay, how are we going to manage this process? It became this unending puzzle of, pieces that really didn't fit together. And it's just like, man, it's just not worth the stress in the end.
Exactly.
Because you know, you do go in with the best of intentions, but in the end, you are putting yourself and others at unnecessary risk. We've all just got to, I know we're tired of this. We're all so tired of locking down, but we're done with it, but it's not done with us. So, you know, we got to toe the line. And not to go political, but wearing a mask doesn't make you a Democrat. And, you know, I mean, we just got to do what's right. And, it's just crazy, dude. I mean, we got
to suck it up now, right? Like, so yeah, like you said, we've never been through this. You're right.
I mean, we got to suck it up now. Unfortunately, we got to suck it up now all over again because many of our governors caved and opened things too early.
Yeah. Yes. That's Texas right there. I was involved actually with some of that. Well, I know people that were on the task force who were part of, you know, making those decisions. And, you know, I can't say it on the podcast, but like, it's all money driven. It was all money driven. And it's sad that was the choices being made. Right.
Yeah.
Not about lives, or that's not even brought up. It's literally just about the money. And I get that part of it too. I really do. The economy. I do.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a factor. But how do you have an economy if, you know, and I don't want to say if everybody dies, because obviously not everyone would die from this, but you know, you just don't play with people's lives. As leaders, you just can't play with people's lives. Like, I mean, it's easy to say, well, I probably won't be the one, but you know, now there's like, you know, just because you don't die from it doesn't mean there's not going to be some long-term damage too. That's coming.
100%.
More and more that this thing affects some people. You know, affects your brain, can affect. You know, it just like we don't know what the effects are. So I don't know, man. I don't mean to get all heavy.
No, we talk about this stuff on the podcast too. Look, it's affecting our lives. How can we not talk about it, right? Like, it's so, it's literally directly affecting us.
It's weird too, because some days you're totally chill and totally cool with staying at home.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like it feels good, and you knock out a couple things, like maybe at 30% capacity from what your norm might be. But on those days now, that feels like you're being productive. Yeah. Right. I mean, for me anyway.
No,
me
too.
You know, because you're only able to really get so much done. I mean, I've done all the home projects I can do. I mean, and even professionally, I've done a lot of what I could possibly do. So some days are fine though. You knock out those few things and you feel pretty good about yourself. You get a workout in at home or whatever, and you're okay. And you go to bed and you're somewhat satisfied, somewhat satiated, you know, for the timing. And then the next day is just like this dark disaster where you don't know. I'm just like beside myself. I don't know what to do. Like I'm just like, and I'm angry. I don't know who I'm angry at, but I'm angry. Yeah. You know, I'm just pissed. I'm pissed at communist China. I'm pissed at the rioters. Which I do differentiate from the protesters, but I am pissed at the rioters. I will say it. And, you know, I don't know, man. It's like, it's just every day is different. Every day is a different journey for sure. It's crazy. It's a lesson for all of us in like self-study, you know?
Yeah, this is a good time to reflect on yourself. Absolutely.
And it's not always comfortable.
It's never comfortable. In fact, if it is comfortable, you're not doing it right. That's my opinion.
Yeah, true. You still have family in Philadelphia?
No, they all moved, actually. They weren't from there originally. They just moved there and then moved away. There might be a few. I think I got a few cousins that are around there somewhere. Yeah. I'm half Mexican too. My mom's from Mexico City. So I got cousins everywhere. You know what I mean? They're just literally everywhere.
Wow. I wouldn't, you don't look it.
Yeah, I know, man. It's I've gotten that my whole life. Yeah. My dad's from St. Louis, Missouri. I think I got a lot of his but to be frank with you, my mom is redheaded, freckles. She's 100% Mexican, born, raised Mexico City. So
Wow.
you just once you get to Mexico City, you start to see, oh, okay, that's just like here. There's all shapes, colors, and sizes.
Yeah.
That are Mexican. Really, that's what it comes down to. So
That's
yeah,
wild.
that's it. But I go to Mexico a lot still, to be honest.
Well, not anytime soon. I don't
Yeah,
imagine.
not anytime soon. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I was even trying stupidly, and my wife was gonna like kill me. I was even trying to plan some little trip to Florida, Fort Lauderdale, to see my cousin for his birthday, and that just got nixed. You know, it was like I'm such an idiot. I don't know. I was just thinking again. Your mind. I like you said. I woke up on one of those days where I'm going to figure out a way to make this happen. You know, and it just is not, just couldn't happen.
Dude, same here. I mean, honestly, we were like, man, can we just go down to Florida and see the water?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
We'll drive. We're not going to fly. We'll drive.
Exactly. We'll drive.
And we'll rent a little cottage and take the dogs. And we won't go out to restaurants, or maybe we'll go pick up to go. But
yeah,
we'll rent a home, and then I'll have a grill, and we'll just do that and chill. And that became, well, first we looked at the prices, and this was before we went in the tank again as a nation in terms of the virus numbers. So the prices were crazy. Everyone was doing that, apparently, because the prices were just nuts. And we were like, well, I'm not going to pay $700 a night for these places. Like,
oh my God.
So now the prices are falling off again because Florida's a hot spot. And so
totally, it's a total hot spot.
Yeah. So why would you travel? Why would you want to travel there? So,
the travel agents there must be just like, come to Florida. Like I got an email about traveling to Florida, literally from Marriott or something. It was like 10% off your hotel. Come to Florida. I was like, bitch, have you not seen the news? Why would I? This is the worst time for me to come to Florida right now.
Bitch, you got to pay me to come there. You're going to pay me several $1,000s. Like,
totally.
Yeah, man. I mean, it just doesn't. Everything is so overwhelming. The thought of going anywhere is super overwhelming.
It is. None of us are prepared. Look, I worked from home before, so it wasn't that big a deal to work from home. And again, I'm very grateful and blessed that I'm in the situation that I'm in, that I'm able to do that. But at the same time, I still, I can't go. Rock climbing has actually been the worst thing I haven't been able to do since this started. I rock climbed 4 times a week, 4 hours a day. So that was a big part of my life every week was rock climbing. And to have that taken away from me has been the worst thing, because mentally, physically, just everything about it, just such a big part of my life, So yeah.
Where do you do that in Austin?
There's a couple gyms here specifically, but I go to one called Crux. Yeah, I call it rock climbing, but you're inside.
Yeah,
you're indoors.
So did you cancel your gym membership?
I did. Well, the first couple months, I actually paid the membership just to help them out, even though they were closed. And then they sent an email out just saying like, we're going to reopen. But I don't know. I pay like $5 a month. It's on freeze right now. Like, I don't want to go right now, to be honest. So that's like the worst place. People are breathing. They're everything on the wall. Plus they were like, well, we're only going to go to 10% capacity and you have to make an appointment to come climb and all this stuff. Again, it was just the process of it was like, this is just a nightmare. I don't even want to go now.
Yeah.
Me
too, man.
Wear a mask.
I pay an annual membership fee for my gym, which is downtown Nashville. And it's a great gym, but I mean, we had before the whole coronavirus thing before the clouds set in, we had a tornado on.
That's right. That. Yes,
so it was
I do.
March 2nd or something.
Yeah.
But back in January, every January I pay my membership for the year, like just to be done with it, and you get a discount if you pay it all up front. So, so I just paid that, and was working out in January, February, and then March 2nd, the tornado hit, and they turned the gym into a shelter for people that had lost their homes.
Oh, wow.
So then for a couple weeks there, it was like, hey, you guys open yet? Hey, you guys open yet? No, we're not. Still a shelter. And that was cool. I mean, I totally got that. And then the virus thing hit, and I waited it out for a month or two, and then I called them finally in like May, and I was like, guys, I'm just not really into coming like for the rest of the year. Like, I'm just going to do my workouts at home, YouTube workouts, blah blah blah. I've got some gear in my garage, it's kind of converted. And I'll just get by, man. Just do body weight stuff, whatever, and they were cool. They were like, we'll just move it to 2021, so
That is cool.
I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in going to the gym. I mean, like the list of top 10 stupidest things to go do right now. Number 1 is a bar. Unfortunately for my business, it's a club, music venue, bar. And then number 2 is a gym.
I agree.
I mean, that's what I've read. And like,
there's a lot of sweat, right? I mean, just a lot of hard breathing and sweating, and that's what we do when we work out. I mean,
totally. And I don't care if there is limited capacity. It's like, there's still just like germs floating around in there. It's inside.
Yeah.
People wipe down supposedly, but who knows? And, it's just like, it's not worth risk reward. It's just not.
Exactly.
It's not there. So now the number 10 thing on the list that I read, I don't know if it was Newsweek or something on my phone, was takeout. So
really?
But yeah, it's pretty benign, right? I mean, that's number 10. So, I mean, that's safe. I mean, I have to say that.
I just want to assure people, and I do it on the podcast all the time, just because I'm from the industry, I guarantee you that takeout is probably one of the safest things to do. But now, not from every single food place, because we've all seen kitchen nightmares with Gordon Ramsay. Okay. We know that like shitty places exist, but for the most part, any place that's open right now has the funding and everything behind to get that working. So if they're doing it, I promise you they've taken all the steps and
totally
whatever.
Concur.
Yeah, right.
Totally
I mean,
that my point about takeout wasn't to knock your industry. It was more like,
no, I didn't mean that.
It was more to say that is okay, to do more than okay. Like, that said, even that's kind of a buzzkill. Like, you want to go out and have an experience when you go eat out, right?
100%.
You're going to go pay for like what inevitably is a $50 bill at least. You're going to want to have the ambiance of it all, right? Too. Yep. So that's part of what you're paying for, and you don't get that when you do takeout. And then you got to grab the door handle with your shirt, and, whatever. Like, and then you got to sign the credit card thing with somebody else's pin, and like, I don't know, just. And then you got to drive it all home, and it's cold by then. And I mean, so like literally, we don't even do takeout hardly. Like,
I don't either, to be frank with you, man.
Well, you're a chef, so you have good reason not to. But like, we can't cook for shit here. So. I mean, unless I grill. Like last night, I made turkey burgers. That felt like a big deal. So, like, I don't know, man. We do takeout maybe once a month. Maybe. So I guess we've saved a bunch of money in that regard, but, and a lot of people have. I mean, but the poor restaurant industry is getting slaughtered. I mean, margins are already really thin in your business, like they are in mine,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, we don't even go to the grocery store, dude. We go to,
really?
Everything's Amazon Fresh.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of this thing, when I was really paranoid, this is probably more than I want to admit, we wouldn't even bring the bags that would show up at our door. I wouldn't even bring them inside. I would open them with gloves on, leave the bags themselves outside, take the gloves off, reach inside, careful not to hit any of the edges of the bag, and get the stuff out.
Take all the stuff out.
Yeah.
You're not alone, man. I did that in the beginning too, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So you're not alone. It was just there. It was hanging over me, and I thought, well, why not? Be cautious. And even I remember ordering stuff from Amazon. I would get the box and I put it in my garage for 3 days.
Me too.
And then I would open it later. I would wait to open it.
Yeah. The non-perishables. Yeah. I do Amazon Prime. So I get monthly deliveries of, whatever. I mean, vitamin water zeros or Essentia water or whatever, whatever you get that comes every month. And like, I'll still do it, but not like I did before. I'll let it sit there on the porch for 2 days. Like, I won't even go get it. I'll just let it sit there and decontaminate,
Yeah, totally. I mean, why not? There's nothing wrong with, being cautious. I do make trips to the grocery store. I think more than anything, it's just,
I do
curious.
too.
I'm curious. We have HEB here, so HEB, man. Like,
Love it.
They're legit. They're literally the best grocery store in the world. I swear to God, I've lived everywhere. They are the best grocery store, and I feel very safe. I go to this one specific one that on Old Torf and Congress. Shout out to that HEB. Just because I know everybody there. Like, I feel comfortable. I know the layout, so the map, so I can go boom, boom, boom. I get my stuff and I'm out. But I do order stuff as well. I actually order stuff from the local farm, so I get these like farm boxes with fresh
that's cool.
produce and meat and stuff. Obviously I support my local farmers here, which they're doing amazingly right now. Like their sales are through the roof.
Great. Well, good.
The roof.
Good for them, man. I mean, I hope there is a move. I hope that buy local movement really does continue.
That's the one silver lining of this from the food industry aspect, is that the supply chain for the food system is changing immensely, and that's one of them. The farmers are just getting way more sales. They're getting connected with businesses directly now. You know what I mean? So it's awesome. Unbelievable. Yeah.
That's really good for them, man, because that's been the corporatization of food and the industrialization of our food supply has definitely made it hard for the local guy,
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I don't know where we are with I don't feel like there's that whole fear of the food supply chain breaking down anymore, like that we were hearing about initially.
Totally. Yeah.
But those outbreaks in the meat plants and stuff are still kind of freaky. So
yes. Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. Those meat packing plants are just disgusting to begin with. I mean, forget the virus, like pre-virus, like they're just not good for anybody. They're not good for the workers. They're not good for the animals. There's nobody benefiting from it except the bank accounts of the companies,
the corporations.
The corporations. And I had these really great farmers on the podcast actually who like work with Joel Salatin and things like that. And they basically just, you're going to see changes in the supply chain like forever now. So this is a good thing actually. So you're going to start to see these it needs to just become more local, many places to break down the meat, butcher shops, things like that. You're going to see more of that than as opposed to these big plants.
I heard about a cattle farmer. I read an interview or a piece again somewhere on my phone, but it was a cattle farmer, maybe in Texas, but just as easily could have been Oklahoma or Missouri or something. Where he was talking about the supply lines, the supply chains it shouldn't all be going kind of funneling up to one centralized meat packing plant or one of several, like this oligarchy. It should be decentralized, and that would keep things much cleaner and safer, if it were kept more local, like these local bubbles of supply chain. Exactly. And I think that's what you're referring to, and it does make sense. It makes a lot of sense,
Yeah, it's safer, it's healthier. It's actually in the long run cheaper for people. Like that's the actual truth. In the long run, it's cheaper. So I mean, there's
probably better quality, probably too.
Yeah, way better quality. I mean, and you're gonna know where your meats come from. It's local, right? Like it just makes the absolute most sense. I mean, it's what we used to do, in America before this took over. Factory farming took over. So that's all it is. Just getting back to something we used to do. It's nothing new.
Right. Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense to me, man. When I read the article, I was like, I totally bought into that completely.
Yeah. And it is happening. You are going to see some changes. And again, that's one of the silver linings of the industry. But unfortunately, you're just going to see a lot of businesses weeded out, music venues as well. I've read a lot of stuff about music, like a ton of music venues might be shutting down, and
For
that's just
sure.
going to be insane for your industry.
Yeah.
Earlier you said you were doing the live streams and all that. I'm curious, and you said you weren't doing it before. I'm curious. Let's say things open back up, you're touring, you're back. Will you continue to do live streams and stuff like that? You think you'll still keep it in your repertoire?
I think it's a smart thing. Yeah, I do. I think it's kind of here to stay. Um, I think it's a great way to promote an upcoming show, for instance.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can, I'm sure there are people a lot smarter at this than I am, but like you could probably even, you could probably make it, you could probably geo-target a live stream to a particular market like a week prior and
Sure.
talk to them directly, or, the more access you have to your fans and the database, particularly if you have them geo-targeted, man, you can like contact them directly, remind them about the show, play a couple of songs, maybe provide some incentive to coming out. And
there you go. That's a good idea.
I'll kind of like give away a couple passes during the live stream for the upcoming show the next week or two. Like, there's just all kinds of things you could do that would be super conducive, So yeah, I think it's here to stay. For me, I would love to do that,
Yeah.
Now I probably need someone to help me implement that, particularly in terms of geo-targeting aspect of it. But yeah, super valuable. I mean, it's been a great lesson. Plus, it's fun. I mean, I come down with a bottle, not a bottle, but a drink in my hand. And, by the end of an hour of playing and chatting with everybody, I mean, I've gone through my one drink, which I'm total lightweight now.
Me too.
And like, I have my Gentleman Jack and Coke Zero, and I feel pretty good by the end of it, man. And I'm brushed up on all my songs because I've played literally, probably 80% of my repertoire of songs I've ever recorded or written for other artists, which I always work those into my live shows too. Like songs I've written for, I've been fortunate enough in that regard to have written songs for Garth Brooks and George Jones, and Eli Young Band, who's from Denton, Texas. And
I actually I saw that. I have a weird connection to the Eli Young Band.
Oh yeah,
surprisingly, yeah. So their drummer Chris Thompson, I used to date his sister in high school.
No kidding.
Yeah,
in
Michelle.
Philadelphia.
No, in Dallas. And they lived in Hearst, I think it was, or so the city was, or something like that. But no, in the Dallas area.
Yeah,
that's where Chris grew up. They're twins, his sister and them are twins. So I know Chris from high school. Like we used to hang out a little bit back then, and I remember going to see him play in bands back then in high school. And then I actually had my own band, to be honest with you, in my early 20s, and we used to play with the Eli Young Band as well in Denton.
No kidding.
But they were a much different band back then. They were not the band, they are now.
In Nashville. Were they the same guys at that point?
Yeah, same guy. And I knew back then these guys are amazing. Like, you could just tell that there was something special about them, and they were, my band sucked. I was the worst songwriter, the worst singer, the worst guitar player. I mean, just the worst. Oh, I was there. I was the worst. I just had good energy. I think that's what people liked about me.
So what did you play?
I played guitar, but nobody wants to see me play guitar. I'm the worst guitarist. I literally just learned to play guitar so I could write songs. That was it.
You saw me play guitar, so nothing special there.
Oh man, you're crushing it. What are you talking about?
I can hold down the rhythm. Okay, so that's my award for all.
Oh wow!
That was their first song, their first hit. So it was a top 10 hit, and I just got a gold plaque from them. I guess this plaque came like I don't know, a year or two ago. It took that long for the song to accumulate the streaming equivalent of 500,000 units sold.
That's awesome.
That shows you how crappy streaming is in terms of how it compensates you. But I did get a plaque, so that was kind of cool. And then there's some other Texans here, the Dixie Chicks.
Oh wow!
So I had a song on there for the Wide Open Spaces record that.
Really?
Yeah, that's what this is. And then
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
crazy, but it's that the plaque says over 11 million sales, but now it's like, I think like over 15 million or something stupid. And then
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta tell you, and this is not bragging, but it's just kind of my Texas heritage coming out. So this just came in the mail yesterday, and it's still not even,
Oh my
it's
God.
still not even like out of the wrap yet. So,
Yeah.
um, so
Wow.
this is Randy Rogers' band, my good buddies, and that is for the song I wrote, "Kiss Me in the Dark," and so it finally went gold after like 15 years or however long it's been that I wrote "Kiss Me." I wrote "Kiss Me in the Dark," which is kind of one of their. They still close their show with it, so they sent me a plaque for that. So I mean, it took that long for the record to go gold, but hey, it went gold, so it's better
That's
than
amazing.
going aluminum. So. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm really proud. I'm really proud of. I'm proud of being a part of other Texans songwriting or other Texans artist careers. You know, it's
I
really
think that's
cool.
awesome to write with other artists and for other artists. And did you always have that intent in mind, or no?
No, I didn't. I mean, when I first moved to Nashville, I just wanted to tour and be a star, or be an artist, because I did want to write my own songs, but I didn't ever think about. Um, I didn't ever think about my songs becoming a part of other people's careers. I knew that was a thing that songwriters earn their money that way. But I thought, well, I like to play, but I like to write my own songs. And so I got signed. I did have a hit as a songwriter, and that helped me get signed to a publishing deal. And then that helped me get kind of fast track a record deal on Capitol. And had I don't know, I guess 6 Billboard singles and one Lipstick Promises, of course, which is the biggest, my biggest charting song still today. But once my run with Capitol ended after making a couple albums for them, like I kind of didn't know what else to do. So, I mean, I just sort of kept writing songs, and then there was nowhere really to put them. And I also kind of kept thinking, well, Nashville's going to come knock on my door again and realize that Capitol screwed up and dropped the ball on me, and somebody's going to call me up and we're going to go do this again. Well, I just kept writing songs, and I just wanted it to happen organically. I didn't want to scrape my knees up and down Music Row. I'm too proud for that. Like, I mean, there's one thing Kenny Chesney teaches us all. It's perseverance, because that guy went through like 4 record deals before he became Kenny Chesney. Like,
Wow.
Literally his knees must have scars on them from dragging up and down Music Row, looking at like dredging up the next record deal, and then finally he landed in the right spot, and the team was all on board. All the parts of the machine were working, and he's where he is today. To say what you want about the music, whatever.
I love Kenny Chesney, man. Again, I'm not even a country fan, but he's somebody that I love.
Yeah. Well, people love him. Some people hate it, but it's like, I'm just talking about life lessons.
Yeah, totally.
As opposed to me, which I was like, well, I'm not going to go ask anybody for anything. It's like Texan mentality.
Yeah.
Like just too proud to can't get it out of your own way. You can't get out of your own way. And so I just never looked for another record deal flat out. And I just kept writing these songs, but they wound up, being parts of other artists' careers, whether that was a Texas artist coming out of Denton, like the Eli Young Band, or starting out, or Randy Rogers, or Sarah Evans, or the Dixie Chicks, or Garth, or whatever, like it just would happen. Not all the time, not like I was slinging my songs out there like Whataburgers, but it would happen often enough to where it kind of fed the beast for me for a while. And then I just kind of realized, man, I miss the smell of amplifiers, and I miss being out there with the guys on the road. And, so starting once again back home in Texas, like with the last album that I released prior to Yellow Rose Motel, I started touring again heavily back in Texas, and, releasing songs to radio, and kind of getting back after it as an indie artist.
Oh, that's awesome. Gosh, man. God,
Story
George,
in story in a
you've had,
nutshell.
yeah, you've had such a, such an amazing career. That's awesome that you've, been able to really direct it yourself, in a lot of ways. So yeah, I think that's great. I think that's
Yeah,
great.
you just sort of find your place. I mean, it's probably like being a chef. You kind of don't. You have a plan, and then life has a plan for you too. So
Totally. Totally.
you just keep on grinding.
Yeah.
Like I'm already working on the next record, and I've had people come out of the woodwork on this record, wanting to partner or whatever. But I don't know, man. The right situation, if it comes my way, I'll do something with it. If not, I'll just keep doing what I do. And I'm really satisfied. Short of the global pandemic that we're in, I'm very pleased with kind of being able to do my own thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a good
That's
thing
awesome.
it's a good thing for a Texan, even when it's stuck up here in Tennessee for now.
Man, George, well, look, I've had such an amazing time talking to you today, man. I just can't tell you that
Likewise,
enough. I just can't tell you that enough.
I don't even know how we got set up, but I'm so glad we did, man. I feel
Me
like
too.
I feel like I've made a friend, and I can't wait to see him when I come to Austin.
Oh man, look at that. That's
in some
awesome.
other world when we can get back to living in the world that we love once again. Like I really mean that. I mean, I want to hook up for sure.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Look, you said you're coming in September, so fingers crossed. I will go to that show, like hands down, no problem.
Yeah, dude. If everything looks okay, I mean, I'm not going to play it unless things look okay. Number one.
Totally.
So if they do, I mean, for sure, I'd love to have.
Well, I'm going to give you my number
guest.
so that you can text me for some cooking tips or whatever you need. I'm there for you.
Oh, that would be stellar. Like, especially any marinades that you think are just badass for the grill. That would be wonderful.
I make my own. I can teach you how to make your own everything, and it's way better and the best. It's really,
that's what I mean. Yeah, like
it really is so much easier. It's like if somebody had never played guitar before, right? And you handed them a guitar, and they're like, there's no way I can't do this. And you're like, just relax, just hang on, and you show them just that one chord, right?
Yeah,
and they're like, well, this isn't so bad. And then they learn another chord. But this isn't so bad, right? And then you just add those chords on top. It's the same thing with cooking, right? I'm going to show you one chord. I'm like, okay, this is actually, and then you start to see how the chords work together. Same thing with food. Well, I learned this from this thing. Oh, it also applies here.
That's fantastic, dude. That's fantastic. I really look forward to it, man. I mean, there's certain self-improvement things we can and should do during this time when we have all this time. Like,
you're right.
Granted, nobody's making much money and blah blah blah, or maybe some people are probably, but we're not. So, I mean, but there's still things you can do, like all those things that you never got to. For me, it's cooking is one thing. Like, especially expanding my knowledge of what to do on the grill, especially in terms of like prep and. To say nothing of what to do with my oven, which sits there basically nothing.
Storage, right? Like
I live on protein bars and protein shakes, like it's crazy. But there's all kinds of things that we can do to improve ourselves. Like all those projects we thought we'd never have time for, we have time for. Like
too much time, right? For them.
Learn how to speak another language, or read all those books that have been stacking up that you've never read.
Yes.
Like, man, I mean, I've made a pact with myself to get back to reading.
Yeah, that's a great point. I should do that myself.
Turn your phone off.
Yeah.
Or put it on the charger and walk away and go read a chapter a day or something at least.
You're right.
It's good for your mind and your psyche, your brain, your songwriting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play guitar again. You can play guitar again a little bit.
Oh man, I have my guitar. I play it all the time. But then my wife's like, "What are you doing? Stop!" You're the dog. All the dogs are coming to the house here. Like, it's really I have to have a few whiskeys in me, and then like, all right, let's play.
Well, have one. Like, I mean,
right?
I do.
You're right.
Every time I do a live stream, I don't even know how we hooked up. Maybe it was through Instagram you guys found me, or I'm not even sure.
I'm not sure either. They research. There's a whole team that researches, and they book who to come on. So I don't know
whoever
either.
it was, please tell them thank you, man.
Yeah,
please do, because this has been fantastic. But I do want you to pick up the guitar, like.
But no. Look, I'm not a musician. I'm not it's just something I do for fun. It's like you cooking for fun. That's all it is. I do it for fun.
I've enjoyed it immensely.
No, this has been great, man. I'm glad you were able to, get a hat on and come down to the man cave, right? We were able to get this worked out.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about the delay.
No, dude, that's like the best beginning to a podcast I've ever had. Right? Like, this will go down as just epic, like the way it started. And look at this, epic, dude. Well, thank you again, George, man. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast, man. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck on that workout. Don't pull a hammy. And we'll talk soon, brother. All right.
All right, man. Take care.
All
okay.
Right.
Stay
all right.
safe.
Be good, boss. You too.
All right.
Bye.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right. I really hope you enjoyed that podcast as much as I did. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to email the podcast at patrick@texasrealfood.com. And don't forget, you can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, all the different places you can get podcasts. You'll find us on there. Or you can just go to our website. Go to thelonestarplate.com. And you can check us out on YouTube if you want to watch it. We video these now, on a little webcam here, and go to the Texas Real Food YouTube channel and you can find it there. Make sure to follow Texas Real Food as well on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please leave us a review anywhere you can. Follow us on Spotify or leave a review on Apple Podcast. That would really help us out. Thanks again for listening. Really do appreciate it. Without you guys, what's the point of doing this? So if you have any suggestions on how we can make the show better, please let us know. Thanks again. Be safe out there. Wash your hands.